AVCA, as you know, part of our mission is to introduce investors to new markets, to really help demystify what the African opportunity is in terms of private equity. So each year we present to the board a couple of options around Venue City. And we hadn't been, in terms of holding a conference to East Africa in a number of years. So we put forth Addis and had a long discussion, and we just felt like it was really compelling to come here. So one, I think it's a burgeoning, exciting place for private equity investment. You have good economic growth, it's stable, there have been a couple of private equity investors, and people always want to look for new cities that kind of where the masses haven't gotten into, and it really ticked all the boxes. So I'm really happy to have come to Ethiopia from a personal perspective and to bring AVCA here. And just really pleased that this conference has brought more than 400 delegates to Addis, yeah. Basically, our mission is to champion private investment. And what that means is, if we think about sort of the history of private equity in Africa, it's really been given birth to by the development finance institutions, African Development Bank, CDC, IFC, FMO, EIB, sort of all of the names. And they've done a fantastic job of, helping to nurture and groom fund managers and to, help to grow the market for private capital, because that is the one key way that we as Africans can really help ourselves. Their job is to make way for commercial investors, so pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, family offices and endowments, and that's starting to happen. More and more of them are getting excited. Our job is meant to be an unbiased, objective industry body that helps investors all type understand the opportunity. So we do that in 4 ways. One way is this conference, creating networking opportunities, bringing people together. 2 is research, and we'll be publishing them, because you need just not to know people, but you need sort of analytical tools. 3 is advocacy, and that's connecting with governments. And we're very lucky at this conference to have Fitsum Arigu, if I pronounced his name correctly, from your Investment Promotion Commission. And the 4th thing is training. So it's training, African stakeholders, be they pension funds or other people who are operating in the private investment space. So, this has been a success in terms of hitting on all of these different levers that tie in with our objectives. I'm really, really proud of what we've done. It's a team effort, and I know you say that in a lot of ways. It becomes sort of a catchphrase that could be perceived as empty, but absolutely not. I mean, we are a small team of AVCA, but we have the board and we have larger stakeholders. And I think it also helps that the narrative about Africa in general has become more private, more positive, even though there's some headwinds. I think that we're long-term investors, so there are going to be some rocks as a part of an investment cycle. So how does this conference compare to others? I feel, and I mean this in a really humble way, that's an accumulation of what we've done over the last 4 years. So I joined in 2011. In 2012, we started this in Accra. And then, we've just been trying to improve it and bring new investors, bring new speakers, meet with local investors or local companies and government officials. So that an investor who comes today in 2016 now is going to know what Ethiopia means, the types of portfolio companies, the operating environment, will get a feel for it. So if a fund manager or an opportunity to invest in, his interest is going to be a bit more piqued because he's been there. So, in a way that we get to be this sort of gateway to help you think about, a country, a region in a different way. So I feel like it's part and parcel. I feel like we've done a good job. I hope we have. I hope when the conference ends tomorrow afternoon that people will go away thinking that was time and money well spent. It's always a tough one because, marketing dollars are scarce. And times are always tough. I think the number one thing that we have to focus on is delivering value. And what that means is understanding what your potential members want and need. You cannot deliver all things to all people, but find out which will give them the greatest value, and just try to focus on that. It's very, very difficult. We're a non-for-profit. We have 2 sources of revenue. Everyone who's working on the team is doing it because they're passionate about Africa and they want to, so that's really great because we're not making a lot of money, but we love what we do. We get to travel around Africa and meet new people, and because we move this conference around, we've been in Accra, we've been in Cape Town, we've been in Lagos, now we're in Addis. It's exciting. So I get to learn about culture and history and the private investment opportunity. And I couldn't have done that in any other job. I would like that we are known as the one-stop shop for understanding what private investment is Africa. So if an investor is thinking about Africa and they want to know where to start, like for example, if I want to know something, I check on Wikipedia or Google. That's my first instinct. So I want to have that same sort of association for all things Africa. So that would be a mark of success. 2, that the fundraising numbers, so the amount of money that GPs raise each year increases. I know that AVCA is only one small part of helping that, but I'd like to think that our research or the conferences or opportunities like this, help to turn the tide. So yeah, that's what I'd love to see in the medium term or long term, even after I'm gone.